Welcome everyone. This is a video on prepositions of movement and place. Let's take a look at some examples. Prepositions of place. Someone is at the door. Here you're talking about someone standing outside the door. You were inside your house and someone knocked on your door and you say that someone is at the door. We cannot say that someone is on the door or someone is in the door. You can say someone is outside the door, but ideally we say someone is at the door. Is the Eiffel Tower in France or Italy? So here the preposition is in. So in is a very common preposition. We say that I live in Kasargod, I live in Trivandrum, like that. It's a very common preposition. But you can also use the word stay. But then if you're using the word stay, it is better to be very specific, and the preposition used is at. Like for example, I stay at Subhash Nagar. Subhash Nagar is a specific place inside a district. So if you're using stay, you better be very specific about the place instead of talking about the district or your state or your country. You be very specific about the exact place where you stay, and always use the preposition at with the word stay. New York is on the Hudson River. Here the word on does not mean literally on. It means that the city is on the shores of the Hudson River. Like we can say that Agra is on the river Yamuna. It doesn't mean it is exactly on the river, but it is on the shores of the river Yamuna. The moon rose above or over the mountain. Here above or over indicates a higher position. The moon is over the mountain or the moon is above the mountain. Another usage of the preposition above is her name is above mine on the waiting list. So that indicates a better position based on some criteria, probably marks or probably age. So here above indicates a better position based on a particular criteria. She wore a scarf over her head. So here over is used in the sense that something is used to cover. So here she is covering her head with a scarf. So instead of over, if you put on, she wore a scarf on her head, it does not convey the exact meaning. Over her head conveys the meaning that her head is being covered by the scarf. His work is above average. Here above is indicates better than. His work is better than average. Is he over 21? Here 21 is the age of the person. So you're asking whether the person is over 21 years of age, more than 21 years of age. Okay. Delhi is situated between Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. Now here in this sentence, we're talking about Delhi being situated between two states, which here is which here are Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. So since we are only talking about two states, we use the word between. Between is the preposition that we use because we're only talking about two states here. Okay, suppose we are using instead of Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, if we use North Indian states, then the sentence will change. Delhi is situated among the North Indian states. So here you are talking about a group of states, not any two particular states. We are talking about a group of North Indian states. So there we use the word among. The preposition is among, among, and not between. So if you're using two states, Delhi is situated between Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. But if you're talking about more than two states, Delhi is situated among the North Indian states. Another example is you will find it among the books on the top shelf. Here, the number of books is not given. So it is assumed that there are more than two books. So here we use the word among. You will find it among the group of books on the top shelf. Moving on to prepositions of movement and place. Example: we took a connection flight from London to Kingston. So here you are talking about movement. We took a connection flight from London. You started from London and you ended up in Kingston. So from and to. They are prepositions of movement. I suddenly saw a car speeding towards me. Here you are talking about direction. You saw a car, but then you saw it speeding towards you in your direction where you were standing. So that indicates direction. The waiter poured some wine into the glass. Here again, the movement of the wine is shown. The wine was outside the glass in some other container, and the waiter poured it into the glass. So at the end of the process, the wine ends up in the glass. So you can simply, if you say simply the sentence, the wine is in the glass, you're not talking about the movement of the wine from outside to inside. You just saw the wine inside the glass, so it is in the glass. So here, in this particular sense, we are talking about the movement. It was outside in some other container and the waiter poured it into a glass. A similar example would be he jumped into the swimming pool, where the person was outside the swimming pool and he jumped into it. Okay, suppose you saw the person already inside the swimming pool, then you can say that he is in the pool. When you talk about movement, when you talk about where the person started and where the person ended up, you use into. So he or she jumped into the swimming pool. Paint was dripping from his brush onto the floor. So here again, movement is referred to. From the brush, it goes onto the floor. So here we are not using into, because you all know that floor is not a container. It cannot contain things. You drop things on the floor, not in the floor. So the movement is from the brush onto the floor and not into. We spent a month traveling across India. So here it means again that you started from one end of the country and you finished at the other end. It need not mean that you travel to all places in India, but then it can mean that you traveled a lot of distance, uh, probably from one end of the country, from the south to the north, or from the westernmost point to the easternmost point. So it just means that you traveled a lot of distance. Similarly, you can say that uh, we um, we went across the river. We went across the river means you started from one side of the river and you ended up on the other side. So there it again shows movement. The gate was locked, so I climbed over the wall. So again, this is movement. We climbed over the wall, meaning that we climbed on it and then got to the other side. If you just say that I climbed on the wall, it means that you're still sitting on the wall. You did not go to the other side. You just sat on the wall, and probably then you came back. But here, when you say that I climbed over the wall, it means that you climbed on the wall and then you went to the other side. So it shows movement. So you use over. You have to go through the kitchen to get to the bedroom. So again, movement is involved here. You're outside the kitchen and then you want to go to the bedroom, which is on the other side of the kitchen. So what you have to do is you have to go inside the kitchen, and then through another door you have to reach the other side, uh, and where you will find the bedroom. So that is why it is said that you have to go through the kitchen. There is a restaurant along the bypass. Along the bypass means that it is on the side of the bypass road. So suppose you are traveling with your friends in a vehicle, and you start talking about a particular restaurant, and someone asks, where is the restaurant? And then you say that it is along the bypass. Why? Because you're traveling on the bypass road, and as you go, you will find it on the side of the bypass. Suppose you are standing on the opposite side of the restaurant, and someone asks, where is the restaurant? You can say that it is across the bypass on the other side. So here, since you are at some other place, or probably you are traveling on the bypass, you can say that the restaurant is along the bypass. As we go, we will find it on the side of the road. There is a cafe just past the church. Past the church means just after the church. As you go along, like when you say, directions to someone who's coming to your house for the first time, you tell them directions, and you say that there you'll find a church, and past the church there is a cafe. So again, this shows movement. As you move along, you'll find a cafe after the church, past the church. Could you take the box off the table? Here, the preposition is OFF and not OF. Off the table meaning means that you're taking something off the surface. Okay, so suppose a spider lands on your body, and then you tell your friends, please get it off my body. So it means that please help me to get the spider off the surface of your body. So could you take the box off the table means the box was on the table and you want it to be taken off. OFF and not OF. I lifted the cat out of the box. Here the preposition is out of, and that is because the cat was inside the box. The cat was inside the box. Only if it is inside can you take it out of the box. Okay, suppose the cat is on the box. You can say that take the cat off the box, OFF. But here, in this case, the cat is inside the box. So you have to say that I lifted the cat out of the box. Thank you.